set?
You're good at that.
What's up, everybody? It's Ace with another episode of the recently added channel. You can take a look. We've upgraded our refrigerator with this fucking awesome lair. Today's episode, we're going to cover a few things and go over some top producers, highlight people that are out there in the game that are really taking the sound to the next level, and just go over just some news in the heavy metal and hardcore world. Lots of cool stuff happening, lots of weird stuff happening. Let's cover our merch piece at the end. So let's get started. Top producers. Just recently, something we started to introduce into the blog was our Producer of the Month series. Just posted a feature on Will Yip, who single-handedly has probably done a lot for the emo scene and the new revival that we saw that really started with bands like Citizen, that were absolutely catapulted by bands like Balance and Composure and Tiger's Jaw, Menzinger. Some of the highlights that this man has done was the new Code Orange record, and then obviously a super important record that came out now about 2 years ago is Turnstile's Time and Space. Will Yip is definitely a name that's taking this sound to the new level. One of my favorite records that he did was Ours is Chrome by Superheaven, a real Nirvana-like sounding album. Unfortunately, they're no longer a band. I did get an opportunity to see them a few times, one time opening up for Basement, where we came in and they were playing at Webster Hall to like a sold out main room gig. We were just absolutely blown away by what we were watching, to a band that we'd never heard of before. Another producer that was recently highlighted that's worth mentioning, it's not really as active as he used to be, Zeuss. Zeuss produced. Zeuss Harris, highly regarded for the majority of the Hatebreed catalog. That's really has been his prevalent things. But if you go back a little bit further, some records that he did in the early 2000s really put a stamp on deathcore in general. If you were really listening to anything that was deathcore related or had a chug in it in the early 2000s, it was probably Zeuss produced. Notable records were Oceano's Contagion, Red Chord's Clients. He's done work with Whitechapel. He did that first Legend record, and it's not even regarded at all as Blood Has Been Shed Spirals, an absolute boulder of a record. That thing's just a cannon. So if you haven't yet checked it out, we started to do the Producer of the Month series on the website. Check that out at the recently-added.net. I've been reading the PRP.com for probably the course of 20 years. Recently, Eric Rutan has joined Cannibal Corpse. So for those of you who are unfamiliar, Eric Rutan was the guitar player in Morbid Angel for many years. Afterwards started his own band, Hate Eternal, another force to be reckoned with in the metal world. Really supreme death metal stuff there. So to have Eric Rutan now play in Cannibal Corpse, something that I'm really looking forward to. And the thing is with Cannibal Corpse is that over time, like if you take a look at the members that have been in that band, they've really had some like insane members in there. See bands like Deicide, Morbid Angel, and Hate Eternal all really like play off of each other. So the fact that Eric Rutan's in a new Cannibal Corpse and that record's coming out this year, I think is something that's really notable to look forward to. Eric Rutan mentioned that it will not impact Hate Eternal, so for those diehards out there, it'll be all right. Todd Jones recently announced that he is joining Terror for a record. So let me just make sure I have this right. So apparently, Todd Jones was in Terror. Now, for those of you that don't know, Todd Jones is the founder of Nails, brutal band. Todd Jones was in Terror at one point, and it looks like they're going to be releasing an LP called Trapped in a World. Features Todd Jones on guitar. It looks like he left in 2004. So anyway, looking forward to not only a new Terror album, but also to have Todd Jones in the Terror record. I think that's something that Terror is definitely going to benefit from. I think Terror is the kind of band that all the records that they come out with really have that same fine-tuned sound, and this one's really going to take it to the next level. If you haven't checked out Nails, you're definitely asleep. What's happening with the Manson landscape? Marilyn Manson is the kind of guy that's in the last 5 years been coming out on stage and falling over himself and really just struggling to keep up appearances. It's kind of interesting to see where this legacy ends. I'm curious to know if people really even like read magazines anymore. I know that I used to be subscribed to Revolver growing up. Merch dump. So I'm rocking out Fuming Mouth's COVID tee, the Grand Descent. So if you haven't checked them out, check them out. Fuming Mouth, anything they've done is killer. Then just a little bit of the vinyl dust. Converge's Jane Doe. If you have a record collection that looks like this, and you don't have one of these either on CD or on vinyl, you're sleeping. But something that I want to highlight that's even more important than Jane Doe is Converge's Caring and Killing. This record right here, if you've never heard of it, I think this is the foundations that are super important. I think many people that get into Converge hear them and after the No Heroes era. That's a band that's been around going on almost probably over 30 years. I mean, Caring and Killing is a collection of singles from 91 to 94. But many people now get into Converge and see the aesthetic of Death Wish Inc. and how incredible it is, and the amount of work that Jacob Bannon and company have put into that brand. And I think that's all good, but I think for those that are still trying to start bands are a little overwhelmed about where to begin, I think going back to Caring and Killing is something that can kind of set the pace and kind of get you to understand just like really all bands have that demo days and those rough releases. So that's a super important album too. It might not be as aesthetically pleasing from a release standpoint or even the quality. I mean, the quality, like some of that stuff is just like hard to listen to, you know, and they're one of my favorite bands, right? I mean, it's important to know that that's not where it always began. So it's nice to see that that band puts themselves out there and puts all their scars for us to see. So that's this week. Hopefully we get some new releases coming up. This week we'll see Humanity's Last Breath come out on Friday, February 12th. Look out for that review. And if you like the show, go ahead and give us a subscribe. Stay metal.